Awesome. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for participating in today's webinar, Modernizing Premium Suite Experiences in 2022 with Contactless Commerce. I'd like to kick it off by starting with a little statistic. So Gartner, which is a research organization, recently came out with a trends report predicting that 80% of all businesses will be touchless from an ordering and fulfillment perspective by 2024. While going cashless has been a trend amongst all of our venue partners, even pre-pandemic, today, we hope to shine some light in how the next generation of digital technologies can make a positive impact on venue operations, specifically in premium spaces. Our webinar today will approximately be 15-20 minutes with some time at the end for a live Q&A session. So let's dive in.
Hi, my name is Dustin Hemisath, one of the co-founders and head of customer success here at FanFood. Since 2016, we have been focused on creating products that enhance the fan experience and make the lives of our operator partners easier and more efficient. I look forward to sharing more about FanFood's premium solutions and how we can add value to your game day operations.
And I'm Carson Goodell. I'm also one of the co-founders. And for listeners that don't know what FanFood is, we are a digital ordering and fulfillment platform. So our web and mobile ordering solutions allow a guest or a suite customer to seamlessly order from their seat for in-seat delivery or express pickup. We also support the ability to pre-order before arriving to an event.
So today we will cover some of the common challenges that we hear from teams that they're facing with the premium seating areas, and then what type of contactless solutions FanFood offers to solve those challenges. FanFood's early adopters of our suite solution has primarily been in the minor league sports, collegiate athletics, and then the Chicago Cubs. Later on, Carson will show exactly how we have automated and digitalized the entire suite's customer journey for the Chicago Cubs. If you have any questions or anything, you can submit it through the chat, and at the end, we will be answering and taking those questions. So with that being said, Carson, why don't you jump in and kick us off?
Cool. So to kick off our webinar, we'll start with addressing the key challenges that we have uncovered based on our experiences working with about a dozen or so teams in the premium areas. From a pre-event perspective, whether that's a single game rented customer or season-long suite customer, we've learned from our initial customers that when it came to collecting the F&B packages, it was still very much a manual process, whether that was sending over a form that requires lots of follow-up via phone, email, and even times relying on faxing PDF menus. Oftentimes, this process has been initiated within just a few weeks before the event even starting, which can lead to a stressful process when collecting orders. Changing gears now during the event, we have heard amongst all of our venue partners, and definitely the pandemic has influenced this, but finding reliable and a sufficient number of front of house staff, whether that's a suite server or someone operating behind a concession stand, has been an ongoing struggle. In December, FanFood, our team, released a survey where we interviewed around 3,500 users that used our platform to place digital orders. And we asked them, how important is it to you guys to have a contactless ordering option available during an event? And to our surprise, we found that 77% of respondents said they felt it was either very important or extremely important to them. So from a venue and a suites perspective, on game day, does this or should this feedback change the way we think about staffing requirements for suite servers? Now, while providing an exceptional guest experience will always remain top of mind, implementing a seamless digital technologies like FanFood has the capability to significantly take burden off of the operations, drive incremental revenues, and lower costs simultaneously. So what is contactless commerce? The COVID-19 pandemic and the social distancing required presenting the ultimate test for many of these fundamental aspects of the customer experience, right? No fitting rooms, no contact, no cash payments, and worst of all, a temporary pause in our events. While many of the parts of the US economy have now reopened and hope to stay open, there has been an important lesson that we've all learned. We need faster, safer, and better in-venue experiences that retain and enhance the important elements of closeness and interactivity. And this is where next generation digital technologies can make a massive impact by enabling new forms of contactless commerce, or so we call them. And that can take various forms. And today our focus is on creating a frictionless and seamless digital transaction.
So our goal when we were building this product out was to address the inefficiencies most teams experience when it comes to the order creation and the fulfillment regarding both the catered pre-ordering and the day of ordering for guests while at the event. After speaking with hundreds of individuals across organizations, overseeing the suites in the premium areas, we identified some of those primary hiccups, and we created this intuitive system that will address those challenges Carson just mentioned. For the catered pre-orders, we have the customized online portal for guests to place their orders through, which reduces all the manual effort and processes and PDFs on your end. Once the order is placed, the F&B team will be able to see all the catered pre-orders in one place, pull the reports, and then start the fulfillment process on those orders through our order management system. The amount of time savings on the front end with the manually taking orders and all of that is simply gone, and it changes everything for the team. And then on the game day side, we allow fans to order through that QR code, making it seamless and easy for them to place their orders. And then it reduces the amount of time it takes for servers to be able to deliver that food, which is the ultimate goal, right? Is to get fast food right back to that suite so that they can keep enjoying the game and eat and drink and enjoy their time. Some of our clients have chosen to cut down on the number of staff members they needed because they're able to handle more suites at one time, which is super important with all the staffing issues we've had in the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm. And real quick on that part, Dustin, I wanted to note that our in-suite ordering process is app-less, right? So we don't require an app to scan a QR code to place orders. But what we've also done with some of our suite customers where they wanted a goal to download a team or white label kind of app and go through a customized workflow. And so we're pretty flexible with how we work with partners and can combine both processes. So from a venue fulfillment perspective, we also provide the back of house tools for the kitchen and service staff so they can get the orders out to guests as they come in. The venue manager is entirely web or browser based and can be accessed from any tablet or computer through a personalized login. We can provide the hardware like fulfillment kits, which is a 10.5-inch tablet case mount. We also provide integrations with a Epson receipt printer. The Runner app is an optional tool for servers to communicate and fulfill in-seat delivery orders, tips, closeout tabs, etc. Our platform is commonly, in most cases, used as a standalone system. However, we also support integration into most existing points of sale in order to centralize all of that data from an inventory management and financial reporting perspective. Talk about some of the impacts. So in that same survey where we interviewed our 3,500 users who place digital orders through our system, we also found that 95.3% rated their web or mobile ordering in-venue experience as either very good or exceptional. What we're validating is that less and less people carry cash to events, right? We're asking them why. Why was it such a good experience? Well, less and less people carry cash. People prefer a more convenient way of getting things. Some like the idea of supporting social distancing, but maintaining that closeness and interactivity. And it makes ordering just a little bit easier, all leading to an improved guest experience during events. Furthermore, the digital ordering results in faster and more secure transactions. And what our data is showing us is that the average order size continues to increase as compared to traditional walk-up orders. And there's some psychology reasons behind that. There's some technology influencing that's going on with recommended upsells and suggested cross sells, but we can dive into that a little bit later.
So now let's jump into kind of some fun data and talk a little bit about a couple case studies that we have with our partnerships. We'll start with the Rocket City Trash Pandas as kind of our first one. So in 2021, the Trash Pandas moved to completely cashless at their venue, and they utilize fan food for suites pre-orders and then game day QR code ordering for their suites and their club areas. And what they found was that 8.5% increase on the average order value through fan food. That's one number that we can influence really well, is how much is a customer spending on a single transaction. And then they also saw an 11% increase in the tips provided to their servers through our system. In one of the biggest things that they saw was the time savings. So Taylor on that team saved countless hours on the front end of taking orders for every single baseball game and every suite and manually entering those into the point of sale system, getting everything ready. Now it's all done, and all she does is collect those game day orders through our system, and the kitchen has them ready to be prepared, and literally nothing has to happen on her end prior to that game day. In 2022, we will be partnering with Yellow Dog Inventory out there, and they will be essentially a middleman between us and the point of sale system, and essentially collecting all the data, the order data, so that they can have one place for revenue and inventory tracking, along with reordering of their inventory. So that'll be a fun case study for that next year. Carson, you want to talk a little bit about the Cubs?
Yeah. So the Chicago Cubs have taken a very innovative approach to pre-ordering and game day sales in their premium suites by leveraging our catering tools to digitize and automate the entire suite customer experience. And they have since renewed a multi-year agreement with us. So let's go ahead and get started. So for this upcoming season, they're one of the first teams that I know of in the professional space that have introduced a full e-commerce workflow that allows a suite customer to essentially book and pay for a suite online. Now, after that process, so after a suite customer has booked their suite, they can get started with booking their F&B packages directly on that receipt checkout page and via a confirmation email, which eliminates the need for a suite manager to manually follow up. I think the cool thing about this custom integration is that we are pulling over certain data points, for example, the suite number, event data, and customer information all through. So when that person clicks the get started on the F&B ordering, it's as frictionless as possible and white labeled. From there, the suite customer accesses their catering order portal. That's a mouthful. To order and pay for their F&B packages and add upgrades. Now let's dive in a little bit deeper. The suite customer is provided with a customized menu to initiate the process and starts with selecting their standard package options available to them. Part of our onboarding process is that Dustin and team will, go ahead and actually build these menus out for the suite manager, so they don't have to do it to get started. Step 2, then they are presented with the ability to upgrade their packages by adding any additional beverages, desserts, or merchandise for guests on game day. And lastly, step 3, they complete their purchase by either using the same payment information that was used to book the suite in the prior e-commerce workflow, or they can submit secure payment via credit card to streamline the billing process on demand. One of the cool features here that will be ready for this upcoming season also includes the ability for a suite customer to open up a tab for guests in suite during this step of the process. And lastly, so on game days, each suite, guests are provided with a day of event digital menu and can conveniently scan a team branded suite specific QR code, which provides the opportunity to order items using their mobile device. You can open up a tab and share it with guests very easily, and allows the suite server to close it out at the end of event. The order can be a separate form of payment, or they can use the existing one from the pre-ordered tab that was created during that process. It's also worth noting that the Chicago Cubs don't plan to eliminate all the suite servers by implementing this on-demand ordering process for this upcoming season. However, by implementing this process, it does lead to greater flexibility with how guests are served, whether that's supporting the Contactless Commerce initiative to capture those important elements, like I talked about earlier, of closeness and interactivity, or helping to overcome some of the staffing challenges that they may or may not have experienced. So about 15 minutes in. And so really want to thank everyone for taking the time to listen about the solution. And really thank you for listening this far. Before diving into the Q&A, we do want to extend a special offer. So if there's anyone that's interested in partnering with FanFood for this upcoming season or leveraging some of our catering tools for suites, let us know that you listen to this webinar and we'll waive the setup fees to get you started for the upcoming season. So let's dive in. See if we have any Q&A.
All right. Looks like we don't have any questions so far. Carson, do you want to dive in just a tad bit to that open tabs? Explain just a little bit of the nuances that we have with that.
Yeah, so from an in-suite ordering perspective, at checkout, if I'm a guest and I want to open up a tab, before completing that payment, I can click a button to open up a tab. From there, I'll say I can add a threshold or a balance of, what's the maximum that I want my guests to spend. And then you can click the little plus button to share it. And what will happen is a QR code will automatically be generated so that guests within a suite or a club environment can seamlessly scan that QR code and add items onto that existing customer's bill. From there, the checkout process is also pretty seamless. So the suite server can either use the Runner app or our venue manager portal to check out that process.
Very cool. One of the questions I get asked a lot of times by our current customers is around payment options, especially for the pre-order capabilities. So right now, we take payment up front other than that opens tab. So that would be via credit card. We are coming out with a net 30 option and then also an ACH option as well, that neither one will have to be managed by your suites team. Our system will automatically send invoices, capture payment, send out the net 30 for any catering opportunities. So that's a really interesting thing that we will be working on this year as well. Any other questions? Go ahead and submit.
What about, Dustin, when we were asked from one of the major league partner, they were asking about, can you limit, what if there's a desire to use this product inside an existing app? What are the capabilities with restricting those locations?
Yeah, great question. So we have the ability to basically set up valid locations within our system. So we could actually limit all the way down to a specific seat where somebody can order, or we can assign it to a user profile. If it's a suite guest and only certain guests within the suite are going to be able to use it, you could actually assign that user via their phone number as a valid user in that suite. So there's a couple different ways we can limit where orders come from or who's able to order. Great.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for taking the time to listen in today. And